Let's have a session operational objectives. So operational objectives are a type of functional objective or departmental objective, and clearly they will be driven by the overarching corporate objective or business objectives it's sometimes called. Let's go through some operational objectives. So the first one would be to reduce unit costs. It's very likely an operational objective would be reduce unit costs. Now unit cost is your total costs divided by your total units. And if we're trying to reduce our unit costs, and maybe it's our objective and we manage to achieve it, it could be that that would lead to higher profit margins, assuming you keep prices the same. But it might be that you're in a competitive market, an extremely fiercely competitive market, and you need to reduce your prices to be competitive. So a way to reduce your prices and stay profitable might be to reduce your unit costs. Moreover, if we're thinking about our total cost, well then they're clearly your fixed costs plus your variable costs. So you might want to target one of those sides. Maybe you target your fixed costs. Maybe you try and renegotiate your premises costs, your rental costs. Or on the variable side, maybe you try and renegotiate with your suppliers. Or if you've got suppliers abroad and a very volatile exchange rate between those two currencies, maybe you look to secure some form of hedging on the exchange rate that you're paying so you don't get caught out in some circumstances. Another way to think about it with reducing unit costs is you might want to try and increase your scale, increase your size of output, because if you produce more, you make more, then you are likely to achieve economies of scale. Now, economies of scale could come in various forms. It could be purchasing economies of scale, marketing economies of scale, technical economies of scale, managerial economies of scale. But that will allow you to reduce your average cost per unit. Now, the second one to think about in terms of operational objectives is increase your quality, because if you make products with better quality, it's likely to lead to higher customer satisfaction. Higher customer satisfaction in the long term might lead to the reputation for your product improving, and therefore it could mean that you increase your brand loyalty, you increase your loyalty, and it could also mean that you reduce the price sensitivity of your product, which, if you're thinking about the price elasticity of demand, well, it's reduced, it's become more inelastic. And that means you might be able to increase your prices, and that would lead to an increase in revenues. Also, when we're thinking about quality, it's a very broad term. So you might want to think about the level of recalls you've had to make, the level of complaints you've had. You might want to set a certain percentage that is acceptable to the operations department. Number 3 is response speed and flexibility. But with response speed, you want to be thinking about how quickly you're fulfilling your customers' orders, but also how quickly you're fulfilling their queries, their questions. That could be in terms of on the phone. No one likes calling a call centre and being put on hold for a long time. So you might have a certain time that's the maximum you allow your customers to be on hold in that particular situation. But if we're thinking about fulfilling customer orders, it might be meeting delivery agreements. It's going to be there in a certain amount of days, so it will be there in a certain amount of days, particularly important in terms of e-commerce. And additionally, with both of these, you might want to do it because you might want to avoid any negative publicity, especially when it's on social. And social media could cause problems down the line for you. When we think about the flexibility, well, that's the speed of adaptability to changing customer needs. So how quickly can your operations department adapt to changing customer needs? It could be for existing products. How quickly can you up the level of output? Or it could be how quickly can you lower the level of output to help your costs come down? It could be how quickly you can increase your range, increase your choice of products. Maybe it's t-shirts. How many colours can you certainly do? Maybe turquoise is suddenly in fashion. How quickly can you adapt your operations department to make turquoise t-shirts to high levels of scale? But also it might be how quickly you can make a new product that's in vogue at the time. 4 is dependability. So do customers get what they want? Get what they want in terms of, is the product durable? Is the product fresh if it's from a supermarket? Number 5, environmental. So if we've got, do the business, the operations department, do they have consideration for the communities that they operate within? So if they operate in a certain area, are they thinking about air pollution, noise pollution, light pollution, all types of pollution? Because that could be a problem for the operations department. And the final one is to create added value. And added value is essentially the fact that can they increase the distance between price and unit cost? Because if you can increase the size of that, then that's clearly going to increase your profit margins. And perhaps that's just the sum of above. Meaning, if you can reduce your unit costs, if you can improve your quality, your reputation, etc., you can increase your response speed, in some cases your flexibility to certain situations, you become dependable, and you become environmentally friendly, meeting CSR requirements, then perhaps that allows you as a combination to add value to your products. So I hope that helps on operational objectives, and I'll see you at the next session.